Big topics, big stories, and big news. The Big Rich Show. It happens here. Some people in life can change the destiny of one's life with a simple smile. Tonight's guest is proof of that. Enter Sherry Nelson, a model, actress, and friend. Strong, spirited, and humble. Fearless and takes life head on. She is Canadian by birth, but a superstar by choice. She's touching people's souls all across the world, opening eyes that were once closed. And she's doing all of this when most of us are slowing down. Sherry, she's just getting started. So journey with me tonight as we get to know the woman that is Sherry Nelson. Why? Because it happens here. And welcome to the Big Rich Show. Tonight, it is my pleasure to have actress and model Sherry Nelson with us. She was featured in this March and April's issue of Maxim magazine, and she finished top four. Top four, folks. Not 10, 9, 8, top four in their cover girl competition. That is super impressive. And not only that, she's got a great personality. We've been talking before the show. She is an amazing person. How are you doing tonight, Sherry?
I'm great. It takes two to have a great conversation. You're pretty fantastic yourself.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Tonight, we're just going to talk a little bit about everything. I know we're all kind of in this new, I guess, the world changed a month ago with this coronavirus when they started putting people on lockdown. Will we ever be the same? What do you think about that?
I don't think the people living today, the generations growing up today, I don't think we will. If you think about, I just met our neighbors a couple weeks ago and I went to shake her hand and I pulled it back instinctively because I didn't know if she would be offended by it or is she now offended by me pulling it back. So now it's almost how to communicate, how to exist among humans is changing. It's ever evolving. It's odd.
Yeah, definitely, most definitely. I'm on the front lines as well. I deliver. I have a independent distribution. I do bread, tortillas, tasty cakes, things of that sort. So I'm in and out of grocery stores daily, restaurants, the fast food places that are still having their drive-throughs open, which I think is ridiculous. But I guess everyone has a purpose. I mean, right now. So basically, my hands are in a higher power because I no sooner go in these stores and people still are just swarming the shelves for meat and bread and eggs and milk. And I'm here in the Mid-South. I'm in Oklahoma. And we don't have a huge population as other people do on the coasts and in Dallas, south of us, in Chicago, where I'm originally from. Go Bulls. But it's just scary because I'm a very gregarious person. I love people. I love making people smile and talking. And people are used to that from me on this, when I go out and I see them in the stores. And I've kind of been a little withdrawn. Like you said, you kind of pulled your hand back instinctively. And I'm not an angry person. And I love everyone. But I've been telling people, get out of my bubble. I mean, give me my 6 feet. I am doing this for you. So you have to give me a little bit of respect too. Because people will just come right up on you and basically reach over my shoulder to get bread and that's not okay. But I don't know if some people just don't get it. I don't know.
Rock star.
Yeah.
But I was curious, you with what's happening, you're delivering in essence comfort foods. Are you seeing an increase in demand for what you do? The breads, the tortillas.
We
The grocery store.
first 10 days, we could not keep a loaf of bread on the shelf. As soon as I put it on, 2 hours later, the shelves were empty. and the stores were calling saying, hey, we need more bread. The same with the donuts and the tasty cakes and the tortillas, just everything. I mean, and I don't know if it was because people were hoarding or scared, but I also realized, listen, when we live in the oil field area here in Oklahoma, so a lot of people live and die by the oil fields. And if they're hot, our economy is booming. Tulsa, Oklahoma City, you know, when you think Oklahoma, you think oil. That's, you know, Texas, same thing. We're big oil states. And when it's not booming, the economy is really down here. And it's been booming. So we've been doing good, but a lot of people are not allowed to work right now. So a lot of people are here in Oklahoma are used to, hey, ups, downs with the oil fields. So what do they go to? What's a cheap thing? What are you going to feed your kids? And if you got 5, 6 people at home, sandwiches. You make peanut butter and jellies, ham sandwiches. It's quick. It's easy, you know. And I get it. I could see a family of 5, if they ate 4 sandwiches each a week, I mean, that's 3 or 4 loaves right there. So yeah, and people being at home, there's going to be an uptick in food, you know.
But yeah, it'd be interesting to see the correlation between, you know, the comfort carbs versus, I guess, the vegetables. But
Sure.
yeah, it's amazing how I remember about 5 days into it, everybody said, buy lemons, drink warm lemon water, that will build your immune system. Could you find lemons? Nope. So then I figured, you know what, you could probably say, if you brush your teeth 10 times and the 10th time upside down, I'm not making light of the situation, but I'm just saying anyone could suggest a cure and it'll be a madhouse to go and collect on it, because we all want to try something to prevent it or, you know, to heal it. So it's just, we're almost, you know, poking in the dark, hoping something will stick. But it's amazing how the media, they'll say at the very beginning, they said you have to get a lot of supply of food, and then about 5 days later they say, why are you people so aggressive? And you're like,
Right. Right.
you know? So yeah, it's tough what to hear, what to judge, what to think.
Yeah. And well, the media makes it so tough because one day they're telling us one thing, and then the next day they were telling us another thing. First, they were like, well, look, there's 4 symptoms: a dry cough, a sore throat, fever, and it'll be hard to breathe. And then within a week, there's 10 more symptoms. And then now if you have a wet cough and itchy throat, I mean, you know, so it makes you go, well, what? You know,
Or you can't get it twice, but now they say you can.
and then it can't be transmitted to human to animal, animal to human, yet they're saying that the tigers at the Bronx Zoo have it. We have a shortage of tests. Why are we testing tigers in the first place? So just so many things that make you go, why? Why are they doing that? You know, I don't know. It's wild. But, you know, this too shall pass. One death is unacceptable. We are going to, you know, we have a lot going on, and my heart is with everyone that's affected. But with that said, I mean, we will move on. We will learn from this, and hopefully we can get back to interacting with each other, you know, as we always have. I know it probably won't be the same. People are going to be a lot more aware now to touch other things around them or other people. And hopefully people got better hygiene from this.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Well, it's you know, sometimes they say things become cyclical. Like in the Victorian era, everybody was extremely conservative, and then the era after that was the 20s with the flapper girls. So we have been hugging, loving, open with our love and connecting with people. Perhaps this is the cycle that turns it, where, you know, there was that generation that the men didn't hug. I don't know. Maybe that's where we're headed. So we're going back again. I don't know.
Man, I hug everybody I see. That's my problem too. Hey, you know, I'll fist bump or shake or hug. That's just me. I don't know. Everyone sees me. They're like, Big Rich. I'm like, hey, what's up, bud? I love everyone. So that's been hard on me. Like I said, because I've noticed more and more that I've been wanting my space, and during this time only. So, fans, we're sorry. I know we always this Corona thing, but it's a part of our life. let me ask you, Sherry, what got you into deciding? How did you decide to do the Maxim magazine model contest?
Uh,
Go ahead, you're fine, hon.
I was actually, my Facebook photo that I currently have, a photographer had sent me a message asking if he could take my photos. And I didn't think much of it. And then he messaged me again and suggested I go into this contest. So I didn't think I'd be able to go into it because generally those contests are for Americans only, and I'm Canadian. And so then I thought, well, I'll enter it, but I would never make it very far. And then so then I thought I'd try just to say I did. So
Okay.
then I entered it, and I did okay on it. So
I would say you did more than okay. Yeah, so you still live in Canada?
I do. I am in Canada. It was about 30 degrees today. We had a little bit of snow, but
We
yes.
still here the Tuesday,
Oh,
yesterday.
did you?
Yeah, it's wild.
Oh,
Yeah, it was like
yeah.
90 degrees one day, and then the next day it was 20 freezing, and we had snow on the ground when I woke up to go to work. I was like, ooh, only in Oklahoma. So you're up there where they call it soda pop.
Soda pop?
Yeah, like don't they have like that Minnesota Canada border? They kind of have that. Because I went up to Minnesota and I used to go to Vancouver too, over when I was in Seattle, and they would call it like I would ask them, "Hey, do you guys have Coke?" And then everybody was being they called it soda pop, but the way they would say it was like with a little bit of a oomph, like soda pop or
Oh,
soda.
really? Oh,
Yeah,
soda.
I don't know.
Oh,
So I don't know. Is that I don't know. That's always stuck with me. As I just always laugh. I'm like, oh, you're from up there. There's soda pop. But anyways, I don't know. It's a long story. I just thought. So, what are you doing with yourself right now? Doing the modeling, has this led to other avenues for you?
yes. I've been very fortunate. Um, I met Jimmy Starr, who I think you know, Jimmy Starr, Eileen Shapiro,
Oh,
and they're amazing for introducing you to some really important and fundamental people. I went to the Sue Wong Oscar Gala with
oh
them,
yeah.
and I got to meet Thomas Churchill, the producer,
Hmm.
and Sherry Davis, the really beautiful actress, and I become friends with them, and so it has led me to um, some movie opportunities once the coronavirus is hopefully settled and the borders open again. And I've also become a spokesmodel for the Light Up the Love campaign.
Oh, that's
And
amazing.
yeah, so I'm excited to do that. And in the meantime, I've been writing. So I've been writing for the Turner Bannon King about fitness and finance,
Very nice.
and just keeping busy, trying to do things. And well, Oklahoma, where I live, I'm 40 miles north of the Montana border. So we're in a very rural area, but we've been canoeing on the river. My personal trainer and we've been exercising outside together. So anything to do good for the lungs. So just being active, and baking, that's my therapy, and cooking. So just being active. I'm
Are you
trying not
a
to
good
sit
cook?
idle on the couch.
Right. Yeah. Definitely don't sit idle. Are you a good cook?
I hope so. I like it. I enjoy it.
Right. What is one of your favorite dish that you make?
I like to make a good lasagna. I enjoy making scalloped potatoes. If you make scalloped potatoes, it's always good to add a little garlic sausage in there.
Oh, okay.
And I like to make a turkey. So yeah, no, I enjoy it. It's a good thing to do if you want to think and clear your mind.
Yeah, I
For
mean,
me.
cooking is an art form, and it soothes the soul. It definitely heals, and my name reflects it. I'm Big Rich. I'm 6'2", and I'm a big dude. I like to eat. So, but speaking of that, I have been on a diet, and it's been a year since I started, and I've lost 76 pounds. I want to lose about another 60 to get where I'm at. and I'll be happy at
You
that.
look thin. I don't see that, but congratulations. That's a
Oh,
big deal.
thank you. Yeah. Yeah. No. Right now, and I'm not ashamed. I talk about. I'm probably about 350, but I'm a very bulky guy too. It's not like when you see me in public, it's not like you go, "Oh man, that's a very," you know.
Well, how tall are you? 6'2"?
6'2".
Wow.
Yeah. So,
No, you don't look heavy from where I
well,
sit.
thank you very much. I appreciate that. Everyone always tells me, "Well, you don't look as big as you say you are," but yeah, but I weigh that much. I'm just a big old German. Germans are thick, you know. I got German blood. My great grandfather, they came over here. We have had my mother. Her maiden name was Gross. Um, my grandfather, Charles Gross, and I named my middle son after him, Charles. And so I'm 75% German, and then the rest is a little English, a little Irish. But you know, us Germans, we're big boys. We're the Vikings. But yeah. So, anyways, we do this new thing on the show. I thought we are gonna have let's have a little fun here, break the monotony, and it's called "What Band." What I'll do is I'll give you a setting, and then I'll give you 3 bands, and which band, it could be a song from them, an album cover, a video, or just a time in your life. It doesn't have to just be their name that correlates best with what I ask you. So the first one, for example, when Sherry wakes up in the morning, your mood is best represented by Van Halen, Madonna, or the Culture Club.
Van Halen.
Van Halen, I like it. Jump.
Yeah, jump. I was just gonna say.
Right. When Sherry takes a night out on the town, which of these most sounds like what it's going to be like? Kid Rock, Pearl Jam, or Santana?
Kid Rock.
Kid Rock, all right. I want to be a
Definitely.
cowboy, babe.
Yes.
I love it. All right. Romance. Sherry, when you are romantic, is it Barry White, Kiss, or Foreigner?
Very white.
Barry White.
You gotta love his voice.
Man, his voice is amazing. I
Uh-huh.
always picked Foreigner because I'm hot.
What song?
Check it and see. I got a touch
Really?
of. Remember that song? Hot Blooded.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know. I
Oh,
can't.
you're so fun. Hot blooded. There's some good cardio for your workout.
Right? Exactly.
I see what you're doing. You're doing 2 things at once.
All right. When you enter a room, your persona that people will pick up is most likely Creed, Garth Brooks, or Lady Gaga.
Lady Gaga.
Hey, I love it. Why would it be Lady Gaga?
Thinking some of her songs though might not be the right answer, but oh well. No, I love her voice. She's the
Yeah,
best.
she has a good voice, and she's flamboyant, and people
Yep.
the head turner.
No, she's great. She doesn't even need a background. She's got it all.
That's right. Well, there we go. Well, that was called "What Band." So you got a little inside look at Sherry tonight. There you go. Based on
Okay, well, for your job in this environment, when you enter the grocery store,
mm-hmm.
I can't even think of any band. So when you enter the grocery store, are you Motley Crue? Are you Whitesnake? Or are you Backstreet Boys?
Oh, definitely not Backstreet Boys. I'm Motley Crue.
Yes.
I'm a bad boy.
Okay, tomorrow when you're there, think of it.
I will.
He gives you some good stride.
Oh man, it will. It'll definitely. It'll pick me up. I love listening to music too in my earbud when I'm working. Sometimes it just motivates me.
Who's in there right now? Who's your number one?
Like what I like to listen to. Uh,
Yeah.
Man, you know, to be honest with you, none of the real new stuff. I like listening, and this is pretty weird. I know people. I like a lot of old Beastie Boys. I like the Red
Yeah.
Hot Chili Peppers.
Yes.
I love listening to a lot of old R&B, man. I'm a big Al Green fan. I love Marvin Gaye.
Yeah.
And that music just touches the. And man, I'm a huge Bob Marley fan. I listen to that all the time.
Oh, yeah,
You know,
definitely.
and a lot of people find this weird, but my son and I, when we're riding in my truck, because he'll ride with me sometimes. This is my youngest son. He's 17. Um, we will listen to Frank Sinatra, a little bit of Sammy Davis Jr. Dude, Frank Sinatra's voice was amazing.
It was. Well, okay, what about this? You know, as I like to cook. So if you were to make a really nice pasta dinner for your lady or for a group of friends, would you play Frank Sinatra or would you play Dean Martin?
Hmm. Well, they're both a part of the Rat Pack, so
Yeah, yeah.
um,
My grandma was a big Frank fan.
yeah, I would probably have to do Sinatra. I just love Sinatra, but I love Sammy Davis Jr. too. He was when I think of him, the song that we listen to is my song. Oh, and he did not, and ironically enough, he wrote it. He did not want to sing this song and do it. The Candyman. Remember that song, like
Oh,
her?
really?
Yeah, he in one of his books he talks about that. He says that when they brought the idea, he's like, "No, I'm not doing this," and they're like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna do it."
Well, I think, wasn't there a country singer who just passed away? Was it the Rhinestone Cowboy? And he did not want to do that song either, and that's his song. I
Hmm.
think it was it Glenn Campbell? I'm not sure, but I had heard that about him as well.
Yeah, yeah. Well, man, a lot of these. I was just talking. I had an interview with the lead singer of a band, and he was saying that he knew this lady. I mean, he said her voice was angelic, but she just didn't want to sing, and she would write songs that were like he said these could be number one, but she just didn't want to sing them because she felt that it wasn't her place. And so I guess a
Really?
lot of people like they'll hear a song like this. I don't know. It's weird. A lot of songs have been made that people are like, oh, I don't want to do that, and they end up being hits.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
So that's weird. Yeah. Such is life. So, what was it like? I know I was reading a little bit about on your bio, and it said the town that you grew up in only had 80 people.
Yeah, it's a town called Galloway, British Columbia. We're, as I said, 40 miles north of the U.S. border.
Mm.
And then it's within another community called Jaffrey, British Columbia. So it's very tiny. It's small. It's when it's that small, it becomes family. So it's nice. You learn at an early age, and it's ingrained in you just to love thy neighbor. So everybody knows everybody, and if one is weak, we all help out.
What was it
Um,
like in high school or going to school?
it was good. You knew everybody, and yeah, it's like family. So it's just small. Everybody knows everybody. Everybody knows your name. So you're not just, I can't explain, one in a million. It's communal. So
Awesome. I don't know. I graduated from North Chicago High School, and we had a humongous. I don't even remember half the people I graduated with. Right.
well, when I went to school, when I was in grade 6, I moved to the nearest town of Cranbrook, British Columbia. And my graduating class, I think we had 300 people. How many were in yours?
Triple that.
Yeah, probably 1,000.
Yeah, close to a grand.
Or
Yeah.
more. Yeah, yeah. So I think I could, you could probably say you knew everybody in your grad class. So that's a nice thing to be able to say.
Absolutely.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
I was very active and I was good in sports. I was all state. Uh, Played both basketball and football. So I was known through doing that, but I wasn't a very outgoing person in high school. I didn't bust out of my shell. I was a late bloomer. It was probably in my mid-20s when I said,
Really?
yeah, I was kind of, I was a withdrawn teen. Um, I did my schoolwork. I played sports. I tried to excel in sports. Um, I didn't go
What
to,
was it that turned it for you? What turned your corner?
My friend took me out to a nightclub, and I found the dance floor. Instantly fell in love. And I remember that night. I remember the very first night I went. It was my first time ever going into a dance club. And it was just like the lights and the and everybody on the floor just dancing and moving. And I was like, wow, I like this. And he's like, here,
You
man.
got rhythm.
Yeah, I'm a really good dancer. I was not so much now. I'm old, but you know.
Oh, once you have it, you can't lose it. It's
No,
like the
that's
bike.
true. It's like riding a bike. Dancing's like riding a bike. Oh yeah, I would. We would shut the places down, and um, I would probably have 6, 7 dance partners throughout a night on the floor, and they would just be like, "Oh, I'm dancing with you tonight," and we would. I mean, we just had a blast, and it would go, and it became where I was going every Saturday. Then it was every Friday and Saturday. Then I was going like on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And it was just, I fell in love with the dancing aspect of it. It wasn't even so much in the interaction with people. It wasn't the drinking and the partying as so much as I think it was the interaction and enjoying dancing and making people feel uh, happy. And it made me feel happy. So, yeah, I was a late bloomer for sure.
Well, I guess dancing is one of those you're uninhibited if you can be loose and just do your own thing. I guess in Oklahoma, or was that Chicago or Oklahoma?
That was in Chicago, and then a little
So
bit of
you were the John Travolta of Chicago for Saturday Night Fever, right?
it was, and a little bit of that. Ironically, I carried that on. I took a job in Memphis, Tennessee, and I went down to
Oh,
Memphis, which was a huge culture shock for me. Um, Originally being, up north and then going to that's the deep south. And when I got there, it was just it was so racially divided, the city
oh,
itself of Memphis. And I didn't understand that because I grew up in an area where, we had Filipino, Puerto Rican, Cuban. I mean, there was it was a mixture. It was a melting pot. Everyone loved everyone. Everyone knew everyone. Um, I remember going, 3 blocks down to my friend Greg's house, and they were from Guam, and eating his mom would cook, their cultural food from back home. And growing up as a kid, I got to experience that. So it's like you're getting a degree because you're learning. Excuse me, I'm sorry about that. Uh, you're learning about the culture of the world. You don't even know. I remember eating, fresh Cuban breads and, just all these ethnic foods that I would have been able to try if I grew up in another town. So,
yeah.
you know,
No,
um, go ahead.
oh, sorry. No, food, music, anything. That's just the best way to understand and learn about a culture, I think.
Mhm.
It's just because it resonates with you. Like, I'm sure if you have a certain spice or something, it probably takes you back.
Oh yeah, no, definitely, yeah, and even music. I'll hear music, and I had a lot of friends in Milwaukee, and Milwaukee was just right up. You could drive from Illinois, North Chicago, on up to Milwaukee in an hour or two. And I had a friend up there. His name was Ali, and he was from Iran. And him and his brother owned a Dunkin' Donuts there, and we used to go to all the clubs in Milwaukee. And what is very funny about this, I won't say funny, but I'll say it's funny now we look back, is it was during that whole Jeffrey Dahmer thing. Remember
Oh,
Jeffrey Dahmer?
yeah.
Okay. Well, and he would frequent some of the dance clubs that we were actually in at the time.
Oh, wow.
Now, just imagine that. So me and him used to, like, I would talk to him. I still talk to him, and we'll joke like, "Man, we probably brushed arms, or saw him, or were in the same club at some point during that year, that few years."
Yeah.
So yeah, that was pretty wild. But I don't know. I just thought that was interesting. So
Yeah. Wow.
yeah. So, anyways, here we go. We're gonna have another. Everyone that comes on the Big Rich Show does the Gauntlet of Five. Okay. Now, these are yes/no answers, or you can even say, I pass.
Okay.
When I get done with the 5 of them, you can elaborate on one or all of them. And we'll
Okay.
show that direction to end it tonight. So,
Okay.
and then you can, we'll give people any of your social media. And of course, that'll be rolling across the screen for them during this. So, well, but with that said, let's get started.
The
Gauntlet of 5.
Gauntlet of
Sherry, are you ready?
Yes.
Bigfoot, does he exist?
Yes.
Okay. Aliens, have they visited us?
Yes.
The moon landing, was it a hoax or did it happen?
Pass.
Ghosts and spirits, are these things real?
Definitely.
Okay. The Earth, is it round? Is it flat? Or as Neil deGrasse Tyson likes to say, pear-shaped?
I believe it's round.
Okay. And there we go, folks. Running the Gauntlet of 5 is Sherry Nelson. Would you like to elaborate on any of these?
I apologize for passing on the moon landing. I'm a Canadian, and it's not my place to say what you've done there.
Okay.
So I don't think it's exciting if they did. It's,
I think
yeah.
we try. I personally, and this is how I believe, I think we personally tried, and we tried hard, and we might have even made it, but I don't believe the footage that we were actually shown was true footage from the moon. I believe that was footage that they taped here on Earth. Whether we were to the moon or not, I'm not going to say we didn't go, but I know from all the things that they can debunk and show that footage was done in a sound surround, like the studio. I feel.
Well, the essence of it, in my mind, was an homage to President Kennedy. He wanted a man on the moon by the end of the decade. So, in honor of him, it was a wonderful goal.
Absolutely. I love JFK. We just did I got a good friend out of Germany, Wayne Hudgens, and we just did a 3-part JFK reflection where we look back and we go over a lot of the stuff that's usually not covered. His years in Russia, him being in Mexico, and I say he, that's the man who they claimed pulled the trigger. And we talk about Lyndon Johnson and his role, the Cubans, the mafia. So we go really deep. It was a great deal. It was a great 3-part. I'm getting ready to release the 3rd part here in the next few days. But the first 2 parts are on the YouTube channel. People are loving it. But I do stuff like that too. I do research and put out little shows like that as well as interview wonderful people like yourself. So
yeah, well, it's important to look outside the box. You can't trust one messenger. That's great. One thing I really like, when I graduated from university and I paid off my student loan, I always wanted to go to Boston, and I don't know why. And I did, and there was no greater speech writer, for a president. His speeches are just timeless.
yeah.
My favorite one is the one, like, we are so naturally drawn to the sea because of the salt in our
our
and it's my favorite. But yeah, any of his speeches, or his love of America, they're amazing.
Absolutely. So is there anything that you would like to leave with the fans tonight?
No. I really enjoyed your show, though, and I'm really happy to be here.
Absolutely.
And I hope everybody gets over the coronavirus, and I hope that there's not too much heartache, and I hope that we can go forward loving each other, enjoying each other's company, and not being suspicious or condemning. I just hope we can go back and be happy and relaxed and calm and keep on moving forward.
Oh, absolutely. We will. I promise you.
Yeah.
But like I say, this too shall pass. And I had a great time with you tonight, Sherry. It was great to have you on. And guys, go check her out. She's in the March and April issue of Maxim magazine. she finished in the top 4 in the contest, which I think is an amazing feat. Not only for
a lot of pretty girls in that magazine.
yeah,
And
well, you're right up there with them, or you wouldn't have been in there. And what makes it even a greater story is that you're from you're originally from a little town of 80 people, and that should be inspiration for anybody. That one day you're sitting there and somebody takes a picture, and the next day you might be a household name. You just don't know. So
what else can you do right now? Think of things you've always wanted to try and just try it. We're all on Saturday every day.
Amazing. Now, do you have a website yet or anything like that, or is it just
Facebook, Instagram? I'm at XOXO Sherry. Okay. XO Sherry is SHERRY.
Okay, so can the fans, if you have fans, keep up with you on Instagram then?
Yep, and Instagram and Facebook, yes.
Facebook.
But
there you go. Mm-hmm. And like I said, well, I'll scroll that here for everyone to find out. So with that said, folks, man, it's been another great Wednesday. It's been another great interview. I'm glad that you came on, Sherry. Thank you for being here. And you know how I do it, fans. God bless, stay safe, and have a wonderful night. Have you always wanted to be on the radio? Or maybe have your own podcast? Well, now is your chance. BRRS-MEDIA is running a contest in collaboration with one of our former special guests, Sherry Nelson, who finished top 4 in the Maxim Magazine Model Contest. That's right, folks. We will fly you and one person to Oklahoma City for 2 days. Airfare and hotel included. Also, we will feed you and throw you guys some t-shirts and hoodies. You'll be able to be on the Big Rich and Little Lisa radio show, as well as you will sit in the seat and be a special guest on the Big Rich show. Man, it doesn't get any better than this, does it? What a trip. Literally. Now, I'm sure you're asking, Big Rich, sign me up. What is the deal? Well, here's the deal, guys. 1, go to our fan page on Facebook and make sure you follow the post that I'll be putting up after this video goes live. 2, in that post that you're a subscriber and show a picture from your phone uploaded there that you are a subscriber to our YouTube channel. 3, watch this video, share it, thumbs up, and like it. Easy peasy. See, that's all it takes. That and a little patience. And while you're waiting to find out if you're the winner, continue to share and push all of our videos and content and help us grow to that 1,000 subscriber mark. That is a huge milestone that we are trying to knock the door down on right now. And after we get that done, we'll throw something else up. So until then, God bless, stay safe, and have a wonderful night. Oh yeah, and here's Sherry to kind of co-sign the whole thing.
Hi guys, Sherry Nelson here. Everything Rich said is true. I hope you enjoy our interview. Subscribe to BRRS-MEDIA YouTube channel and enter the contest. We're going to have so much fun in Oklahoma. It'll be my first time and I look forward to meeting you. Talk to you then. Bye.